Hope you are doing great. Today we are going to see about the basic concepts of VPC firewall. So we are going to see few concepts in VPC firewalls. First one is what is a VPC and what is a firewall. Then VPC firewall rule and firewall rules in Google Cloud and pre-populated rules in the default network and firewall rule components. And finally we are going to see protocols and ports. Okay, let's start. What is a VPC? So VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Google Cloud VPC, it is a global, scalable and flexible. It provides networking for Compute Engine, VM, GKE containers and the App Engine environment. And next what we are going to see means what is a firewall. A firewall, it is a network security device that monitors and filters incoming and outgoing network traffic based on organization previously established security policies. At its most basic, a firewall is essentially the barrier that sits between a private internal network and the public internet. So that is known as the firewall. Next we are going to see about this VPC firewall rules. Overview we are going to see virtual private cloud firewall rules apply to a given project and network. We can apply firewall rules to multiple VPC networks in an organization. VPC firewall rules let us allow or deny connections to or from our virtual machine instances based on a configuration that we specify. Enabled VPC firewall rules are always enforced, protecting our instances regardless of their configuration and operating system, even if they have not started up. Every VPC network functions as a distributed firewall. While firewall rules are defined at the network level, connections are allowed or denied on a per instance basis. We can think of the VPC firewall rules as existing not only between our instances and other networks, but also between individual instances within the same network. Next, we are going to talk about the firewall rules in Google Cloud. When we create a VPC firewall rule, we specify a VPC network and a set of components that define what the rule does. The components enable us to target certain types of traffic based on the traffic's protocol, destination, port, sources, and destinations. Next, we are going to talk about pre-populated rules in the default network. The default network is pre-populated with firewall rules that allow incoming connections to instances. These rules can be deleted or modified as necessary. We are we have four types here: default hyphen allow hyphen internal and default allow SSH, default allow RDP, then finally default allow ICMP. First one, default allow internal. It allows ingress connections for all protocols and ports among instances in the network. Default allow SSH allow ingress connections on TCP destination port 22 from any source to any instance in the network. Next, default allow RDP allows ingress connections on TCP destination port 3389 from any source to any instance in the network. Default allow ICMP allow ingress ICMP traffic from any source to any instance in the network. This rule has a priority of 65,534 and it enables tools such as ping. Choose IP ranges and type the CIDR blocks into the source IP ranges field to define the source for incoming traffic by IP address range. Use 0.0.0.0/0 for a source from any network. Next, we are going to talk about firewall rule components. Each firewall rule consists of the following configuration components. First one is the direction of connection. Ingress rules apply to incoming connections from specified sources to Google Cloud targets and egress rules apply to connections going to specified destination from targets. Next, we are going to see a numerical priority. A numerical priority which determines whether the rule is applied only the highest priority or lowest priority number rule whose other components match traffic is applied. Conflicting rules with lower priorities are ignored. Next one is an action on match, either allow or deny, which determines whether the rule permits or blocks connections. Next, the enforcement status of the firewall rule. We can enable and disable firewall rules without deleting them. A target which defines the instance to which the rule applies, a source filter for ingress rules or a destination filter for egress rules. Next one is the protocol. The protocol such as TCP, UDP or ICMP and destination port. Next, a boolean logs. A boolean logs option which logs connections that match the rule into cloud logging. Finally, we are going to see about the protocols and ports. To make a firewall rule specific, we must first specify a protocol. If the protocol supports ports, we can optionally specify a destination port number or port range. Not all protocols support ports, though. For example, ports exist for TCP and UDP, but not for ICMP. We can use the following protocol names in firewall rules: TCP, UDP, ICMP for IP4 ICMP, and ESP, AH, SCTP, and IPIP. We can use these protocol names in firewall rules. So we are going to see the demo in our upcoming video. We are going to working with firewall. So we have a firewall rules in Google Cloud. When we create a VPC firewall rule, we specify a VPC network and set of components that define what the rule does. The components enable us to target certain types of traffic based on the traffic's protocol, destination ports, sources and destinations. So here I have given this table. So the following table summarizes valid protocol and destination port specification combination for Google Cloud Firewall rules. Specification: no protocol and port. Explanation: here we have given. If we don't specify a protocol, the firewall rule applies to all protocols and their applicable destination ports. Next one is a protocol TCP. We specify a protocol without any port information. The firewall rule applies to the protocol and all its applicable ports. Next we have protocol and single port TCP colon 80, then protocol and port range TCP 20 to 22, then combination ICMP TCP 80, TCP 443, UDP 67-63. We can specify various combinations of protocols and destination ports to which the firewall rule applies. Thanks a lot friends, we have done with the concept. In our upcoming video we are going to see this working with firewalls. Thanks a lot friends, have a great day, bye bye.